A very big welcome to you, my dear Cancer. The sun is now in Taurus and the moon is in your sign, and you get the Prince of Wands, which is Leo. And Leo comes after you. So there is, I think, a desire to expand. There is a desire to show yourself more extroverted. You more introverted, that personality that wants to, take care of the home, of the people that you love the most. But now I think it's something is showing up and saying, show yourself. Who are you, right? Be that person that really wants to go out there and be like, hey, I have something to give. I have something to show. Not to show off, but to show. So let's see what the deck of Leo brings, right? And we can see in the colors here in this card, it's like, yes, here I am, look at me. Strong energy, strong power, the roar, and then comes the Ten of Fire, and the Ten of Fire is Saturn in Sagittarius, but Saturn is not in Sagittarius, it's in Aries. And so there comes a fire sign, and Sagittarius is a fire sign, and the Wands, it's like you have a lot to do, and I think something needs to stop, because the 10 and the 5 is the 15, and that's at work. That's Capricorn, that's the devil, that's the attachment to climb, the attachment to money, attachment to things that you think you need, but in the end, you are selling your soul to, So I think something in you now, Saturn, which says, you got to do this and this and this, and it's important. And you see how these to-do lists are burning. These Post-its are burning. And you kind of like in that circle, and there is a liberation. Usually. And then the 6 appears when we calculate the 15 together, right? And the 6 is then that true self-love that you now wanting to experience. Now, Saturn in Aries, we're going to look, right? Saturn in Sagittarius has come up, but I want to see what Saturn in Aries is bringing. So we're picking a card from Aries. See what Aries is gonna say, right? And it's really interesting. It's like always, these cards are so clear, so precise. They're so like, yes, this is what it is. Okay, the Page of Pentacles is coming. So of course there is Taurus in the sun in Taurus, but there's also Virgo and also Capricorn, which came up through the 15 at work. So at work, there is something that needs to shift. And the way you want to make money, you can remember your youth. You can go back to the time when you were younger and you had all these dreams and ideas that you wanted to create. And how she looks at the money, and she's like, yes, what do I want? How do I want to make money? How do I want to live off of my money in a way that it really works? And a lot of families have pushed their children into professions that they didn't love. They got sick, and they kept saying, well, that what you want to do is you're not going to make enough money. And it's not true. It's really not true. It's like if you really love what you're doing, the money follows that. People will buy it. And you can find your niche. And so, right, we had the 6 from the 15. And now here we have 3 zodiac signs in there. So there is a 3 that says, well, Venus is letting you know that you got to now take action, because Venus is in Aries. And within it, we have Taurus, the 2nd zodiac sign. We have Virgo, the 6th zodiac sign. That's an 8. And then we have Capricorn, which is the 10th zodiac sign, so altogether it's the 18. The 18 is the moon. The moon in your sign is literally saying, yes, you got to look at what it is that you want, right? Leo, the 5th zodiac sign, with here the 10, the 15, the 6, and here the 9 inside, right? The 18 as the moon, and then we calculate it down to the 9. The 9 and the 6 is again the 15, and the 6 is left. The 6 in the 3 zodiac signs is the 9, right? It sounds very complicated, but in the end, when you really like understand it, those numbers are so clear, so precise, and they give you such a clear message. The picture's beautiful, but the numbers, they're like incredible. And so the 9, there's a completion in you now wanting to change something, in you now wanting to do what you always wanted to do. And that's why this has come up in the month of Taurus, where you are establishing something that now works for you, that makes you happy, and not anybody else. Beautiful. I hope I see you in the next reading. That's when we get the sun then in Gemini. Until then, I thank you so much for being with me. Namaste.